Hello folks, Brother Jim reporting here this afternoon. Antifa-controlled Portland Police Bureau faces mass exodus now as 50-plus officers quit over insane and dangerous far-left policies. As Portland trends further and further from Democrat to Marxist to the pit, the rank-and-file officers of the Portland Police Bureau have been put in the unenviable position of being ordered by the mayor to cater to the far-left protesters and rioters like Antifa. At the same time, the officers also face a more and more irate public, angry at the police bureau's propensity for ceding the city to the protesters on a regular basis. The latest shocker, the city council is consulting with a Baltimore-based Black Lives Matter activist, DeRay McKesson, to strategize over how the next police contract should be written. The Oregonian reports, Portland is falling, isn't it? Staff for Portland Commissioners to Joanne Hardesty and Chloe Udally met Thursday with National Black Lives Matter activist DeRay McKesson to strategize over the city labor contract with the Portland Police Officers Union, an official in Hardesty's office said. McKesson, 33, met with officials as part of his work managing Campaign Zero, a group that reviews police union contracts nationwide and points out what it says are policies that shield officers from accountability for misconduct. The official in Hardesty's office said McKesson gave a detailed presentation about policing contracts and accountability and the relationship to violence. Also present at the meeting were members of the Albina Ministerial Alliance Coalition for Justice and Police Reform, a faith-based group seeking greater police oversight. Baltimore-based McKesson wears many hats: civil rights activist, author, podcast host, and one-time mayoral candidate, among other work. He was in Portland on Wednesday for a taping of his podcast, Pod Save the People, for which Hardesty was a guest. Hardesty's office asked him to extend his trip to give a briefing on the police contract, the official said. McKesson tweeted his take on Thursday's meeting to his more than 1 million Twitter followers, saying he led a talk with activists and advocates to discuss avenues for structural change. This has all culminated in what one inside source calls an exodus of officers who are retiring early, transferring to a different agency, or otherwise leaving the Bureau. Another anonymous source, who happens to be a former Portland police officer, tells the Gateway Pundit that he knows of about 50 officers who are retiring within the next month. The officers cited the political landscape forced upon them by Mayor Ted Wheeler. They are all leaving as soon as they can. Evidently, there was a catch in the pay period this time that gave this month's retirees a bit more, so that may have pushed the numbers up a bit, the anonymous source tells us, but the Jeff Nia fiasco didn't help. I had a command-level officer tell me that was the straw that broke his back. Now this business of bringing in a BLM activist to advise on the contract, you can't make this stuff up. Black Lives Matter, race baiters, demonizing white people. They've had enough of it. Jeff Nia fiasco, you may recall, is the trumped-up scandal involving PPB Lieutenant Jeff Nia communicating with pro-Trump activist Joey Gibson about the organizing of Gibson's protests in Portland. As the message chain went public, Nia was sharply criticized by the mayor, in the media, and by the community for doing his job and gathering information. He was removed from his duty post as commander of the Rapid Response Team, Riot Squad. Officers in the Bureau are learning that if you're a good cop, if you follow your orders, if you follow standard procedures, you will be thrown under the bus by your commanding officers and the mayor when it's politically convenient. This culmination of the backroom politics at the police bureau has resulted in over 100 vacancies, as more officers are retiring than being hired, and a quarter of all recruits are failing to make the cut. And my daughter, who's almost 20 years old, is living in Portland, and I told her that is a dangerous place. Well, now it's getting more dangerous, but she doesn't want to listen to me. Coin6, or KOIN6, reports that the city passed a budget calling for 50 new officers, but less than half of those positions have been filled. Mayor Ted Wheeler has a plan. We're reaching out to communities of color. We're looking to recent immigrants to the United States. We're looking to more women. Oh, that's just what you need, is recent illegal immigrants, and make them police officers. There you go. Yes, that's the mayor's plan to recruit people who grew up in different countries under entirely different types of laws with completely different cultural norms to be the ones to enforce the law in Portland. A third anonymous source inside the Portland Police Bureau says he knows of over 45 officers tossing their badges on the mayor's desk, and that's former officers have even offered to come out of retirement, only to be denied by the Bureau. Another Oregonian article explains that the rate of hires is slowing and most of the slack is being taken up by current officers working overtime, with overtime pay increasing. You mean recall the Bureau's hands-off approach during the 2016 election week riots, where scores of mask-clad Antifa smashed up windows and cars with officers nowhere to be seen? In fact, Central Precinct Commander Chris Davis even assisted the rioters by shutting down the I-5 so they could riot some more. Need an officer to respond to you? Despite having 350 patrol officers at any given time on the streets, it takes 8.6 minutes for an officer to arrive to the scene. Car thefts can't only be prosecuted anymore. Assaults are becoming more and more common. That's right, car thefts can't even be prosecuted anymore. And if you're a victim, there's only a 3.5% chance any investigation will take place. As the once great city devolves into chaos, the police officers union and President Daryl Turner penned a scathing letter ripping the mayor and city council. So who's ready to fill the void left by the exiting officers? Leftist social justice warriors? Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it? Back in 2012, Portland Police Bureau made a recruitment video specifically targeted at gay and transgender community members. Portland police officers are regulars at all of the city's gay, pride, and trans marches and events. Look at this disgusting crap. Which is odd because organizers of these marches wanted police officers to not be in uniform, citing that the presence of uniformed police makes the crowd uneasy. Officers wore their uniforms anyway during one of the transgender marches. It's not uncommon for members of the police bureau to sport LGBT rainbow badges or bright pink badges for breast cancer awareness. So what do you got? Well, you had Obama's queer army. Now Trump's trying to get rid of that, but in Portland you got Portland's mayor's queer police officers. That's what you got there. And they're working overtime and getting all kinds of pay while Portland goes to the pit of hell. On October 15th of 2018, the mayor, police chief Daniel Outlaw, yes, her name is Outlaw, and another member of the police bureau staged a press conference to discuss the guns they had discovered at an August 4th dueling protest, which were apparently in the possession of pro-Trump activists. They say they confiscated the guns, but no arrests were made. Wow. Against the Second Amendment, Assistant Chief Ryan Lee says it's because people have certain privileges, so PPB can't arrest them or prosecute people who have guns at protests. Mayor Wheeler bloviates about how we need tougher gun laws while being protected by 4 armed police officers. The current chief is Daniel Outlaw. She came from Oakland Police Department, known as one of the most corrupt police departments in the nation. Before her was Mike Marshman, who was forced out because he dared to crack down on the leftist protesters, and he had gotten caught up in a paperwork forgery scandal where he falsified documents. Before him was interim chief Donna Henderson, who was caught on film laughing as she was taking her oath of office. She resigned in shame after being caught up in a scandal involving the previous chief. Woo! Former chief Larry O'Dea resigned in shame after barely a year on the job, early 2015 to spring 2016, after it had come out that he got drunk and shot one of his friends on a hunting trip in eastern Oregon. He lied to sheriff's deputies about it, misled the mayor, coerced his subordinates into helping him cover it all up. Before O'Dea was Mike Reese, who now serves as Multnomah County Sheriff and a lackey for Bloomberg's gun control efforts. He's the one who has propensity for letting known violent illegal aliens out of jail so they can go on to further terrorize the community. 2 chiefs before him was Derek Foxworth, who resigned in shame in the midst of a sexual misconduct scandal. He now serves as a head of public safety at Portland Community College. These are the people who claim moral superiority over the lowly civilians. Welcome to Portland. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very important announcement. Would you like to see most of your illnesses go away? Let me introduce you to the Water Smacker. A new modern breakthrough in science has come to knowledge, ridding your body of many toxins through this state-of-the-art new technology. The testimonials are endless. People have been healed of shingles, pancreas survivor healed, colon cancer patient healed. Your skin returns its oil back to itself and elasticity. Gray hair goes away. Look younger. Red blood cells return to being round. Plaque in your arteries is wiped out. Blood pressure is lowered. Feel stronger and have more energy. Return to a more youthful feeling and look. Pick up your Water Smacker today for only $350, and don't forget to mention Brother Jim sent you. The link is down below along with the website and other videos for a much longer description. Thank you.